Oh, God. This Russian cover of the 2006 Christmas Carol special is so laughably bad. I mean, just look at this. You see Scrooge looking all fierce like, "Where's my money, you little shit?" And Tiny Tim's by the gravestone like, "Oh, God, he's going to rip my other leg off." And the Ghost of Christmas Future is just in the background like, "Kick his ass, Scrooge. That little bitch owes me 20. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hello folks, I'm South Jersey Sam, and a Merry Christmas to all of you. Unfortunately, I haven't had much time to make a big project this year, since one of my co-reviewers has not shown up for quite some time for some reason. I figured I'd try something a little different this year. During my time as a reviewer on the internet, I've made a habit of planning and making top 13 lists of different subjects, and while I have other lists coming up, I decided to try something a little easier. I am now going to make top 7 lists. While 13 is my lucky number, it's hard to make a list of 13 specific points of interest, so I felt it was best to try making the list shorter to make things more unique. So next time you request a list, feel free to ask for a top 7 list. With that out of the way, let's move on to the topic of the list, which is about one of my favorite comedian groups of all time, Rifftrax. Spun off from the TV series Mystery Science Theater 3000, 3 of the original cast members would create a site made specifically to riff movies. Whether they were old or recent, good or bad, it's all fair game. Every year they make hilarious riffs available as audio files to play while watching the movie, or as a live show to riff on stage with a live audience. They've even managed to bring in special guests to help join in the riff.
This is exactly how I started to get after about 10 minutes of watching the Rachel Ray show.
Well, if they're dumb enough to think it's night, then I can only imagine they're dumb enough to be killed by this thing.
Hey, we're here too! You really should turn your head slyly to the left more often. You miss out on lots of cool stuff.
But out of all the shows they do, they manage to make the greatest riffs based on numerous Christmas shorts and movies. Whether they're basic riffs or live show renditions, our favorite riffers manage to go through these hokey holiday films like crazy. Each of these riffs are certainly a good way to cheer you up and give you some good laughs during the Christmas season. Each done by Mike, Kevin, and Bill, 3 of the best riffers ever. And we're going to be looking at 7 of them today. Why 7? Because that's my second luckiest number. So, sit back, relax, be merry with a couple of great laughs, because this is the top 7 Rifftrax Christmas riffs.
And it's not an easy job. They watch movies and they make up jokes about them. They tell their jokes to microphones. Put the jokes into a file on a secret server deep beneath the mountain, protected by the ice cream bunny. Who you gonna get to riff those tracks? I don't have a good tracks, better riffs on this end. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Number 7. I Believe in Santa Claus. If you haven't heard of this movie, then I wish I was in your shoes, because this is one of the most bewildering Christmas movies that the Rifftrax troupe has ever found, and has become one of the latest hits on their site. The story is about 2 children who leave during a class trip to an airport of all places, completely unnoticed, and make their way to the North Pole to find Santa Claus. Of course, no one between the 2 airports stop either of these 2 from making their trip, and of course the kids manage to actually find Santa without a hitch. And just to make things more complicated, one of the kids is hoping that his parents will be able to come back home, even though they are imprisoned in Africa. Because it's not the holidays without a hostage rescue mission. Merry Christmas? So as batshit insane as this special is, it's only fitting to have the guys go all out on this film, going over the bizarre situations and even the strange song sequences that occur within the film.
Slave away, night and day, mass production for the day, stockings hang. Bang, bang, bang.
Name 3 things I'd like to do to this Christmas fairy.
Hi-oh!
Yes.
I put this one pretty low on the list because it's fairly new and just so bizarre that it has to be viewed at least more than once to comprehend what goes on in the film. It's basically like I'm watching the MST3K episode of Manos, The Hands of Fate all over again. It was that awkward. But despite such a crap film, the jokes the three make are certainly worthwhile. But this is only the first one on the list, and we have plenty more where that came from.
Oh, really, children, if you examine the subtext, Ernest really only facilitated the saving of Christmas, and I was the one who truly saved the holiday.
Then why is that the title?
Ernest is dead, children! He's dead!
Number 6. Fun in Balloon Land. Now this one I'm kind of cheating with since it's apparently a Thanksgiving movie. But hey, there's Santa, so that counts, right? On a serious note, most people probably recognize this movie from Brad Jones's review, but it was Rifftrax that truly introduced this Zeppelin-sized abomination onto me. The story? There is no story. It just seems like a crappy promotion for parade balloons that just seem to be disturbingly uncomfortable to watch.
But the briar roses with their awful thorns open magically for me.
I wish they'd mic'd me, by the way, instead of having to shout across the warehouse.
Literally 20% of the film takes place in a crappy warehouse as we hear someone talk to a kid from off-screen while we have an old-timey piano playing the music in the background. Then after that, we cut to a parade taking place in Philadelphia where we just see parade balloons as a woman attempts to narrate what goes on, while sounding drunk or high at the same time.
You may now go out and slay any dragon you wish to stray.
Stray?
You're a member of the round table, so slay that dragon.
Would somebody please grab that butane can away from her?
Slay that dragon.
Despite not being a full-on Christmas movie, it is still fun to watch for the hilarious riffs. And as a fellow neighbor of the city of brotherly love, I think there's a reason why no one tapes holiday parades in Philly anymore. And it's all because of Fun in Balloon Land.
I love my mommy!
Right, that's what the kids would be saying, Kevin.
What kids?
Number 5. Santa's Village of Madness. In this riff, the trio looks over 3 Christmas-themed shorts made by K. Gordon Murray, well known for releasing the 1959 Mexican film Santa Claus and so much other obscure bullshit. And much like that film, these shorts are all completely fucking weird. Each are based around Santa, his workshop, his workers, his friends Merlin, Stinky the Skunk, Puss in Boots, Mr. Ferocious Wolf. True Christmas legends! What the fuck? Yeah, we got another nutty one, and it certainly goes unscathed by the clever and humorous jokes these 3 work in. And honestly, when you're watching a short that looks so absurd and so laughably bad, you do the same thing.
Oh, gotta get to my litter box, gotta get to my litter box, gotta get to my litter box. Oh, hell out of my litter box, you freak.
I'll go tell Santa Claus. Oh, my ulcer.
The Christmas wolf with an ulcer trope is so overdone.
While only 45 minutes long and only 3 shorts to riff on, it's still a lot of fun to watch, provided you're not jaded after looking at the crappy costumes and character designs.
What is it, Mr. Wolf? It's that skunk again, Mr. Santa. I haven't seen him since ice cream break.
I'm just going to ignore you and openly mock you for a while.
Number 4. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, the live show. It should come to no surprise that the Rifftrax crew would revisit some of their classic MST3K episodes and rewrite some new jokes to make things interesting. If you haven't seen it from Mystery Science Theater 3000, the story is about a group of Martians who kidnap Santa Claus to try and bring joy to Mars. They kidnap a few children who unintentionally help them try and locate Santa, and just too much weird shit goes on.
All this trouble over a fat little man in a red suit.
I'd like to drink his milkshake.
It's harmless. It'll wear off in a short while.
Oh, well, screw him then.
Oh, why didn't you say so in the first place? Hurry, your breakfast will get cold.
Oh my God, you people suck. You really do. You really suck.
While it wasn't the first one to be revamped, it would still be one of the best live shows that the Rifftrax troupe would do together for the holiday season. And they even prepare you for the weird Christmas adventures with a bizarre short, Santa and the Fairy Snow Queen.
And release the Kraken.
I can eat candy.
What? I can eat candy?
I can walk through them.
I am going to crunk it.
While while it has been a while since I've seen the original episode from MST3K, it wouldn't be required to do so when you watch this live show riff, as it is just hilarious to watch all by itself. From the mellow Santa Claus to the clueless Martians, the deadpan children, and even the robot Torg.
The lights are moving.
Oh, Alex Trebek's funeral march.
Such a weird film can only be enjoyed by the riffs that occur throughout the show, with a captive audience to enjoy it as much as you will. There's a lot of fun to be had with this live show. After all,
who wouldn't give everything to bring Santa back to our children?
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses, Hindus, Muslims. Okay, Scrooge.
Number 3. Christmas Shorts Extravaganza. While not the first live show that they have done, this would be the very first Christmas-themed show they would do in front of a live audience. And of course, being the Christmas season, they find the weirdest Christmas shorts ever made and even riff on a classic short. And if that wasn't enough, they even get Weird Al Yankovic as a special guest to riff a short film about the qualities of pork. Because pork is what makes Christmas, I guess.
You should buy the kind that isn't full of maggots and disease, and the butcher hasn't rubbed it on his chest.
Well, at least it's not as strange as them riffing a swimming competition. It might not have been a Christmas short, but it was still a hoot to watch.
Here is the Tarzan of the screen, Johnny Weissmuller, who entertains the guests with a little swimming exhibition of his great speed.
He's still recovering from his last flop, from Tarzan to Kelly.
It should also be noted that this show contains one of the best jokes ever made for Rifftrax. I won't show the clip because it's too good to play. Let's just say that when you see the short and watch the riff, you will never look at the short the same way again. If you're interested in a great live show made for the holiday season, then this one might be the right one for you.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm not wearing any pants and nobody knows it. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho!
Number 2. Now this one I'm kind of cheating since I'm putting 2 films in the same spot, but you'll see the reason why. At number 2, it's Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, both the original and the live show. Now let's bring out the obvious joke. Yes, the infamous Christmas movie made by a failing theme park during the 70s makes its way into Rifftrax's library, and has since become one of the most popular videos on the site. The original version is bad enough with a strange story about Santa sweating his ass off in Florida after being abandoned by his reindeer. The kids help him by using various farm animals and a guy in a gorilla suit. Yeah, because nothing says Christmas like a guy in a gorilla suit pulling Santa's sleigh. But because the children are unsuccessful with their numerous attempts, Santa for some reason decides to tell a story to the children. In the original version, we're given a story about Thumbelina, as it takes place from the perspective of a theme park visitor going around the failed theme park Pirates World, as we look at lousy set designs and horrible costumes of the weirdest shit you will ever see.
Well, guys, if you don't mind, I've got this one.
Great. Great, thanks.
However, in the live show, we're given a different story about Jack and the Beanstalk, which isn't as bad as the last story, but certainly no less absurd or fucked up for that matter.
Gravy. Gravy.
Look what I have, a magic handbag.
Really? Is it hidden inside that big ugly toaster cozy?
This is the giant.
After all that, the kids manage to find the hellspawn in a bunny outfit known as the Ice Cream Bunny, driving an old-fashioned fire truck that has the air raid siren to accompany his impending visit. I don't think most people would know much about this movie, if you could even call it that, had it not been for these guys riffing it for our pleasure. And the fact that there are 2 versions make it more incredibly insane to watch. As for which rendition is the best, it's hard to say since both are hilarious in their own way. But if you want some extra humor, I'd recommend the live show since it has a re-riffed version of the K. Gordon Murray shorts and 2 other Christmas shorts to accompany it throughout, each bringing out so much laughter. But no matter which version you go for, it's a film so stupid that it's enjoyable to watch thanks to Rifftrax. And the number 1 best Christmas riff is Santa Claus. The epitome of bizarrely bad Christmas movies comes all the way from Mexico, and another classic Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode re-riff for the holiday season. And boy is it a doozy of a film. The story is about a devil named Pitch who's under direct orders to ruin Christmas by screwing around with Santa and ruin the lives of children. But not just any children, oh no, just 2 sets of children in Mexico. Because there are no other children in the world that suffer during the Christmas season. Ugh. So yeah, another film so bad it's just too perfect to make fun of. Not to mention a short by ACI from their infamous At Your Fingertips series.
Naked mole rats. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You love racquetball more than me, huh, Dad? We'll see about that.
Oh, yes, I've been a bad snowman. Decorate my head.
But the reason I put this up so high on the list is not just because of how funny it is, but it's also one of the earliest live shows I've seen in theaters. Hell, when I went out to see this, there was little satellite interference before they could show the film, mainly due to the weather at the time. The theater custodian had offered us a screening of the Polar Express if they weren't able to get the film running, and I tell you that people were actually booing over that idea. People were more interested in seeing Rifftrax live more than the Polar Express. Thankfully, the film was able to pick up sometime after the short film, so we didn't miss too much. And a good thing, too, because it was one of the funniest shows I've seen until their Mystery Science Theater 3000 reunion show. And if you're looking for some good jokes and a good laugh for the Christmas season, then this is the one I would recommend.
Bow down before Blitzen! Bow down!
Well, that's all for now. I should point out that there are numerous other Christmas-based riffs available from Rifftrax, but you can check them out on Rifftrax.com. Until then, I'm South Jersey Sam, and happy holidays to you all.
Well, here comes the ice cream bunny. Christmas time will be so sunny. Or he'll get Santa on his way, help him move his stupid sleigh, and the only thing he'll ever say is, everybody now.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as Channel Frederator and Cartoon Hangover. Also, visit me and Channel Frederator on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Just click on the annotations. And for more of my videos, visit me on Mr. Coulton Friends, which is thatfellowinthecoat.com. Booyah!